Greetings and welcome to another splendid edition of Bent TV. We've got another 3 stories tonight which will tantalise, titillate and enthrall. Well, maybe just enthrall. And up first is Dig Deeper, and I'm talking with Dylan about an upcoming Bent TV production which promises to be down with the kids. Let's hear what Dylan has to say. Hello, you're watching Dig Deeper, and I'd like to welcome the lovely Dylan, who is the host of the new Bent TV production, Queer Young Thing. Hello, Dylan.
Hey, Malice, how are you?
Good. Queer Young Thing is going to be taking over the box very soon, and the name suggests that, what with the young part, that I won't be the intended audience. Is it aimed at the young folk?
Well, it's designed for the young folk, but I'm sure you could get something out of it. Maybe you could recollect some memories thinking, oh, hey, I remember those times.
Dylan, you're supposed to say, no, you're not old. That's what you're supposed to say.
I'm sorry, next time. We'll do another cut.
Yeah. So basically for people who know the young folk, it's going to be interesting also to us to find out more about being young. It's
going to give a dialogue for what it is to be, I guess, gender questioning or questioning your sexuality, because it's a really intense process to go through, and not just for, I guess, gays, bis and lesbians, but also for transgender and also the genderqueer. And if you think about what it was like for people who are bi, lesbian and gay, we have a lot of history and resources that we can pull. But what about the trans? What about the genderqueer? So it's good to encompass them in the program as well.
Yes, well, yeah, genderqueer was kind of new to me actually. So yeah, it'd be great to get them involved also. Now, can you tell us what a typical show will look like?
A typical show?
Yes. How is it made up?
Well, we haven't got a set format for each show. It's not going to be the same. You're not going to watch the same show twice. We're going to have young people coming on talking about issues specific to that episode. And then we've also got elders, or I guess our experts, coming on, and they'll be giving some information and answering questions for the young people. And the cool thing is, the young people will be leading the talks rather than like a lecture.
Elders. Yeah. Okay, cool. That is cool. And I did laugh when I read in my notes, elders. That's a nice way of saying old, right? Yes. So that's good. So so the young folk will be having a go at the professionals and asking them all sorts of questions. Excellent. That's great. So the show will run for 13 weeks and cover a different topic each week. So let's take a look at some of the topics. I see religion is one. That could be a thorny issue. I wonder how many young peeps actually subscribe to a religion. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of religious kind of leanings?
No, I do not actually have any religious persuasions.
Yes.
But a lot of people do have a religious persuasion, and I suppose when you are a young person and you're quite naive and you encompass everything that you've been taught throughout your life, and reconciling your sexuality with your faith, sometimes they don't exactly go together when we look at a lot of the reading materials out there. So, and we don't like to do anything easy, so we thought, hey, why not our first episode, let's do religion, just to put it in there. So that should be a really interesting show. We've actually got some footage from one of the guys from Malice. They made a video all about religion and reconciling your faith with religion, so that will be promoted in the show, or featured in the show.
Okay, cool. That's something to look forward to. So you're also looking at social media and bullying. This topic is close to my heart, as I worry about my kids being subjected to it, and I was bullied once, but that was back in the days when you did it face to face. Social media though, social media seems so much worse because it can be seen by so many more people.
And it's insidious, and it's so ingrained in our lives, and especially for young people. Like I am in the social media generation. When I was a teenager, that's when it first started coming out and being used so heavily. And before, when we were outside, and I was just like on my phone before, like going through social media, it is such a big part of your life. And when you think about how nasty comments can just be put out there without a second thought. So if you're getting that every day, not very nice. So it would be good to highlight that and good to talk about that, because I feel that we need to have more discussions. And I mean, we look at, sadly, a few years back when some people were taking their lives due to bullying and harassment on social media.
Yeah, and there's that big thing about the kids are still using the term gay as, you know, being something derogatory.
Yeah, exactly.
So got a little way to go, I think, somehow. QYT is what I'm going to be calling it.
Oh,
you know, like the Young Talent Time, is also looking at transitioning, which I'm also keen to see, as it's not something the broader community have that much experience with, and will be good to help with understanding. So will you have peeps who have been through transition talking about their experiences, do you think?
We most certainly will. And transitioning is something that I think we need to talk about, and I think the GLBTI community needs to talk about, and we need to start talking about it at a younger age and at a younger level as well. Like, seriously, we have the G, the L and the B get so much attention, but what about the trans and the intersex?
Totally.
So I can't wait for that episode. That's going to be a great one for me, I think.
Yeah, I reckon. Genderqueer is also an excellent topic, and I'm talking to Lisa from Genderqueer, and I think you're talking to Jem, actually.
Jem DeMarco, that is correct.
And I think this idea is very interesting and somewhat complex. Is it new to you?
It's because I produce a show already, a radio show for young gay, lesbian and transgender people. And the genderqueer, it's not a new concept for me, but it's something that, because I am not gender diverse, I'm gay, but I'm not gender diverse, so it's something that I don't have a full understanding of. So it's going to be great to sit down with Jem and be able to pick her brain and have a chat, because I'm sure there are a lot of kids out there who don't match a binary gender role. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, well, I feel like this is maybe the new way of the world, right? So it will be awesome to actually see what they have to say. So another one of the topics you're looking at is remote. Is that about how we switch channels, or more likely living in rural communities?
More likely living in rural communities for the moment, which again is another hard thing, because if you don't match a set stereotype, and I know when I go out into a rural environment, people say, oh, well, you're not a typical gay man. I wouldn't have picked it. And it's like,
really?
because I'm not wearing pink or short shorts and walking around like this. So if you're not a stereotype, you know, that's one thing. So in a rural environment, you have to be, it's almost like a mindset that you have to be heteronormative, which is annoying.
Yeah. Well, I guess they don't have the support group kind of like access.
But we are moving forward, and we'll be having chats with some people and some community groups out in the rural areas. So that's going to be great to have.
Yeah, excellent. So many good things to look forward to in the upcoming Bent production of Queer Young Thing. Thanks, Dylan.
Oh, thanks, Malice.
And later in the Bent season, we'll be chatting to Dylan some more about what Queer Young Thing has in store for us. This is Malice and Dig Deeper, signing off. Queer Young Things, something to look forward to, and we look forward to seeing you back here after the break. You're on Bent TV, and now we're going to be crossing to Steve with Quedia, and I hear Steve is chatting to a belly dancer. I did ballet rather than belly dancing for a year, but gave it up after I almost failed my ballet exam thanks to my mum and her poor bun sculpting skills. Let's cross to Steve to hear whether his guest has had any bun incidents.
Good evening and welcome to Quedia on Bent TV, where we explore all things media and culture. Today we have a very special treat for you. A belly dancer, a male belly dancer, and I have to say a very, very attractive male belly dancer. Welcome, Jimmy, to Bent TV.
Thanks for having me.
You're a belly dancer, male belly dancer. Is that very usual in...
Last year's is very usual all over the world.
Yep.
Most people like to dance belly dance, even men.
Is it a cultural thing because you're Greek?
You know, traditionally belly dance is from Middle Eastern.
Yep.
It's a Middle Eastern dance. And also you can find it in the Turkish tradition. But last 50 years is also Greek tradition.
Greek. And how common is it to have male belly dancers?
It's not so It's not so common to find male belly dancers, but you can.
What, and how did you get into it? What inspired you to take up belly dancing?
It's a very long story. It's a very
Short
long
version?
story. Since 2003, I saw a very beautiful belly dance performance on TV, and I left ballet and contemporary dance to be a belly dancer.
So you were a dancer before?
Yeah, I'm dancing last 19 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
I started from the school theater.
All right. Now with belly dancing, it's not really about the belly per se. I'm not pointing to my fat belly, but it's about the torso, and it's about strength of the torso. Is that
yeah.
right? And that you use that to drive all your movements.
You are using all your body,
Yeah.
not only your belly or the torso, but the main focus is the belly.
Do you have to train specially for it? Is there any?
Of course.
What sort of training do you have to do for?
Belly dance, ballet,
Yeah.
and everything you can dance, everything you can have as background is very good.
Now I saw this amazing clip of you where you do an act with a sword, and you actually balance the sword on your head,
Yeah.
and then you move it around your torso, just using your torso.
Yeah.
How do you manage to do that without cutting yourself for one thing? But
I was very lucky.
yeah.
I have this ability when I was a kid. It was very easy for me to use my belly, and also ballet
And also ballet.
helped
Yeah.
me to use my belly properly.
And where do you perform now?
Now I'm performing in gigs and here and there. There is no specific spot to give performances.
And you enjoy it obviously.
Of course,
But you also teach? You teach belly dancing?
of course. Now I started my classes on cheeky belly dance. It's a mix of Greek dance, Greek music, belly dance, and with very, very cheeky facial expressions.
We like the cheeky facial expressions. So now we're going to watch you dance.
Mhm.
No? That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Jimmy. That was amazing. I'm holding my belly in right now, as I imagine most of you, the rest of you couch potatoes. Thank you very much for joining us on Quedia tonight, and we'll see you all again soon. Check us out on the web.
Thanks, Steve. Ballet always makes me think of bulges in tights. So belly dancing, bulges somewhere else? I don't know. Something to ponder while we go off for our short break. You're on the tail end of BTV, and don't forget to send us some feedback or check out our website for links on how you can become involved behind the scenes. We'd love to hear from you. Finally, tonight we have another Dig Deeper where I chat with the awesome Boylesque artist Raven. Let's dig some more now. I'm very excited to welcome to the studio Mr. Boylesque 2012, the Black Prince of Burlesque, Raven. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Malice.
Oh, it's such a pleasure, I can't tell you, especially since you've come with the shoes. I don't know, can we see the shoes? Oh, look at these shoes! Awesome, awesome. I can see why you won. So the Black Prince, is that something that you have dubbed yourself?
No, that's something that was given to me.
Good.
So I perform regularly at a venue called Bohemia Cabaret Club.
Yes.
And we do a show on a Thursday called Underground, which is all about sexual exploration and erotica.
Cool.
And we started doing those shows about 2.5 years ago. And I got dubbed the Black Prince of Burlesque.
Yes.
From Madame Natalia herself.
Nice.
Also, my acts have a slightly darker erotic edge to them.
I've seen a little bit of handcuffy action and things.
There's some handcuffs, there's
Yeah.
some self-flagellation, there's some melted candle wax involved in another one of my acts.
A little bit of BDSM thrown in there,
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Nice. So, yes, because it's funny, so you're royalty and so am I, because I'm related to the Queen Mother, just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, so Raven, can you tell me how it is you ended up doing burlesque?
I wish I had an amazing story, but my story is fun, but just it's not full of like villains and baddies.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, when I was young, I wanted to be an assassin.
Okay, sure, as you do.
As you do. And then at the same time of me wanting to be an assassin, I was also training as a classical ballet dancer.
Of course.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah.
And
I think that would help with assassin moves, though,
yes,
surely.
I thought I could be really, like, I could be put into boxes and hidden and and then sneak
awesome.
out and
sure.
stab people.
Yep.
And then when I was about 9, I realised after watching one of the James Bond film that just a little bit too dangerous and my hair may get a little bit messed up.
Hello.
So
Yeah.
maybe being an assassin isn't for me.
Okay.
So I continued with my dance training, and then when I was about 14, I came across some naughty vintage Playboy magazines.
Yeah, cool.
And they had, one of them had Betty Page in it.
Oh, of course.
And fell in love with the beautiful
Who doesn't love Betty?
fetish pinup model.
Yeah.
So I started doing some research, and then from Betty Page I then discovered this world of burlesque. So I started watching videos like the Teaser-Armor and Stripper-Armor films when I was about 16. I've always wanted to be covered in tattoos, always loved the pin-up image.
Yep.
And then the moment I turned 18, went and saw a burlesque show and went, this is what I want to be doing, and started the day after I turned 18.
Wow. So you just went in, made up a routine.
Yep, and then started doing shows here and there. And then it wasn't until about a year after I'd started doing burlesque, did I contact my one of the first major venues that I performed at and still perform at, which is Burlesque Bar.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so that's kind of how I became a burlesque performer.
Well, I think that's an exciting story. It's got assassins, it's got Betty
Yeah.
Page. Hello, right? So what is the burlesque scene like in Australia, and are there many male performers?
So when I started burlesque, and I'm going to give away my age.
Oh, you look like 12, so...
When I started burlesque 4.5 years ago, I was one of 5 boys.
Wow.
I was the only boy in Melbourne.
Wow.
There was Captain Kidd up in Brisbane, who in 2011 went to the Burlesque Hall of Fame in Las Vegas and actually won the King of Boylesque in the world title.
Cool.
He was the first Australian to win an award at the Burlesque Hall of Fame.
Cool.
Then we had 2 boys in Sydney. We had Herbie Strangelove and Matthias the Libidius. And that was really about it for Boylesque in Australia. The burlesque scene in Australia has been huge. It's been around for about 20 to 25 years.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to do absolute.
Yes, I won't hold you to it.
Because I may get in trouble because I'll
Yeah.
probably get it wrong. But yeah, so then about 2 years ago, Boylesque really started to pick up in Australia. It's still quite small compared to the rest of the world, but we're starting to get some really interesting, varied styles of Boylesque in Australia.
Yeah.
And I'm now one of about 3 boys in Melbourne doing Boylesque.
Okay.
None of us, for some reason, have actually ever thought about getting together and doing
you need
anything
a
together.
trip. Yeah.
But no, we just kind of, we all do our own separate thing. We're all very different in style.
Style, yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. Now, have you experienced any kind of prejudice when you've been performing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Really, like at the shows or like during a show?
During a show,
No.
I've been almost pushed off stage 3 or 4 times now.
What?
Just by homophobic,
Yeah.
mean people.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, you know, part of my image is also quite androgynous.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I like to push the boundary of and question people's perception on what beauty is in reality.
Yeah.
And that can come across quite confronting, especially to small-minded bogans.
Yes, sure. Yes.
And I think it strikes something in them because I'm quite confident in who I am as a person and how I look.
Yeah.
So I think because I am so proud of who I am as a person, I'm, you know, very proud open gay man, and that's clear as day because I have a tattoo on my arm that says I love men. So
you could
you
have gone I love cock.
oh, that was actually the original plan,
okay.
but
Bit too much.
bit too much.
So, what about when you tell people what you do? Do you experience any, prejudice there? Or?
Well, the first thing people say is, "Oh, I like the movie."
Oh no.
Tragic. That burlesque movie doesn't have a single piece of burlesque in it.
Yeah, it's quite weird.
So that's kind of interesting. You get a lot of the, oh, so you do what's in the movie, and then when you actually explain to people that it's the art of tease, and we display that through strip tease. I've actually had someone turn around to me and go, oh, so you're a whore.
Oh, Raven.
And I was like,
nice.
no, I'm not a whore. I'm a burlesque performer. I'm a striptease artist.
And it's like you're not actually revealing the whole thing anyway, right? Like as you mentioned, the pasties. We have the pasties.
Yes, they cover the nipples.
Yeah, and it's not like you get the whole package out, right?
I do.
Oh, have you? Oh, missed that one on YouTube, obviously.
It's not on YouTube, actually. I do a
okay.
fully nude fan routine, which is
awesome.
tribute to Sally Rand, who's a burlesque performer from the 1930s and 40s who did the full nude fan routine.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Okay, so we are talking about performing. Have you got some stuff coming up that you could tell us about?
I have so much stuff. My website is ravenboylesque.com.
Because will it be there as well?
It will be there because there's a link to my Facebook that has all my calendar and stuff.
That's where to go then. So ravenboylesque.
.com.
Awesome. Oh my God, it has been so good having you on, Raven. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Maybe we'll have you back one day for a performance, I say.
Yes, I'll take over your studio.
Thanks so much, Raven. And we'll be right back. Wasn't Raven divine? Something less divine is the end of the show. But don't fret, we'll be back here next week and I look forward to seeing you then. Nighty-night.